Everybody, this is Herschel Froome from High School Top 200, and this next ranking in the preseason Top 25 is Feilding High School. Feilding High School is always one of those sort of powerhouse schools that are not a traditional kind of rugby school. I think when they really started pushing their weight around, I think it may have been 2003 or 4 or something like that, around those areas, and they've actually done really good. I really like the um, the rugby program that they have set up there, and obviously it has paid off, and it obviously has um, produced, because they do have All Blacks. They produce a lot of players, and give other players opportunities that they probably wouldn't get, and which has sort of quickened up their development as well. So I think that this school is gonna be consistent. I think they could even get a bit better. Their recruiting, I think, is going to be one of those. Is going to be one of the top recruiting programs within the country, and not even just from the area. I think as it starts to build a bit more attention and things like that, they will get a lot more kids wanting to go there instead of maybe going to Palmy Boys or to a couple of other schools around within that region. Um, they had a really good year last year with Vili and Moji really showing a lot of light for this program, as well as with guys like Jack Kinder and also Zane being there as well. So like this year is going to be somewhat the same. I think they'll have. Um, I think they'll retain a lot of um, what they wanted to accomplish last year. Um, like for example, I think that they got they went out and got a really good halfback in Griffin Culver, who's come down from Wanganui High School, and so I think that he's a massive plus. I think that he could be one of those guys that if he has a really good season this year, he will make the Hurricanes, as well as probably have a shot at making New Zealand secondary schools or Barbarians, and I think he's in a really good position. I honestly reckon he should have maybe come last year, to give him 2 years and to get himself out there a bit, and sort of so that he can get used to a CNI competition, as well as be able to lift himself a bit more. Um, I really like David Parker, who's the open side. I really think that he's going to be a guy that has even New Zealand secondary school potential, Barbarian school potential as well. But he'll be teamed up with Tyler, who I think both of them will sort of dominate a lot of their games with just them two alone. Um, I really like James Bolton, how tall he is, and his height and his work rate around the field. So I think that they're going to have a really good forward pack in that sense, where they still have Jimmy Davey and also Jack Fleury as well. Um, and so I think they're going to have a really somewhat solid forward pack with a lot of leadership. Um, Also, I think that once the year gets on a bit, and then they sort of find their stride and find what makes them work and what's the best way and best structures for them to operate on, I think that they're going to be a lot better team than um, even I think they're going to be. Um, I still think they would probably come out of that region as the co-ed. I mean, I always think that they should just go into the national and into the national secondary school competition, because I think that they're good enough. But I mean, I don't know. Up to them, I guess. They like to think that that is their lane. I think that they're sort of cutting themselves short by not going into the national championship, only because it is the national championship. But I mean, that's just the way that they've chosen to go. So they've got Griffin there. The Cody Edwards is coming back, which is a really good combination, fitting for the both of them. Um, Also, Ethan Hudson and Josiah Maraku is probably a really good centre midfield pairing. I don't know if they've got any other guys that have come through scholarship or anything like that, but that would be one that I'd probably concentrate on as well. And then seeing the progress of that midfield, especially from Griffin to Cody to Ethan to Josiah, is a really good set of hands to go through from one to the other, and then making sure and knowing that each of those guys are able to switch up when they need to, or to change the play or go audible or whatever when it's need to. And so they all got good rugby brains and all very talented. So you know that they're going to have a really good control over what happens during the game. Drew Wild is another kid that I'm actually really I'm really keen on seeing how he goes. I think that he has a pretty bright future, even with next year coming up. And so, whether he goes, I think he'll probably play at fullback, but whether he goes even onto the wing, I think he'll be really good, and he'll be a guy that we should probably look out for the next 2 years. Leighton Manuel is probably another guy that we should probably have a watch out for, and Connor Johnson, guys like that. I think that they will probably round off a lot of games and probably finish off those games as well. So they'll have a strong finish to their game. I think Feilding is probably one of the teams to watch out for. I've ranked them 20. They may or may not move up or down, but I think 20 looks like a pretty good place for them to where they started in the season. So have a look out for them. Keep supporting them. Keep going to see what they can do, because they're a real good, exciting team. And this is probably going to be one of my strong picks for CNI, along with St. Paul's Collegiate as well, and Wesley. So have a look out for these guys. Peace.